Hey everybody, West Texas Stacker here. How are y'all doing? So as you can see, I have a pile of Mercury dimes and a little pile of Roosevelt dimes. And I wanted to discuss a little bit about the other than the obvious differences between the two, the pros and cons for each one. Because there are some. And this video is more towards new stackers or somebody that's just getting the bug. And it's not necessarily a bad idea to have both Roosevelts and Mercury dimes, winged Liberty dimes, right? So other than the obvious differences, you got a winged Lady Liberty there. And here you got ugly old Roosevelt. Whew, that kid's so ugly. His mama had to tie a pork chop around his neck to get the dog to play with him. Anyhow, those are the obvious differences. One has the Winged Liberty or Mercury. Mercury dime is the nickname because it resembles a Roman god, Mercury. So I've been told. Roman, Greek, I don't know exactly which one, but same, right? No, big difference, but anyhow, y'all see what I'm getting at. So other than the differences, I mean, weight for weight, you are going to get more weight out of these Roosevelt dimes. You know, like this one here. That one's in pretty darn good shape. You're going to get more weight in a tube of Mercury dimes, or I'm sorry, Roosevelt dimes, than you would a tube of Mercury dimes. You see how that's slick? No real edges. You can't really feel the reeds too much. It's worn. It is a worn out dime. Pretty as it may be, a tube of Mercury dimes, unless they're uncirculated, is not going to weigh the same as a tube of Mercury dimes, right? The obvious wear and tear. You're not going to see as much wear and tear out of the Roosevelt dimes because they are newer. Aside from the wear, if we ever did end up in a barter situation, well, the Mercury dime is more distinguishable, right? You're not going to confuse that with a clad Roosevelt dime. This one's not clad. I don't even think I probably have a clad dime in the change jar somewhere, but I don't bring them out and take the chance of getting them mixed up. But that's one of the obviouses, right? You know, people in the know are going to have to look too hard to figure out that that's 90% silver. People not so much in the know are going to look at that and think that it's just a regular old dime. And a dime is a dime, right? At least when it comes to 90%. People love, I'm one of them, I keep them separate. I keep my tube of Mercury dimes separate from my tubes of Roosevelt dimes. And some people don't, though. Some people don't keep their Mercury dimes separate from the Roosevelt dimes. And that's because they believe that, a dime is a dime. So ooh, that's a pretty little Mercury dime right there. That was not bad looking either. So the Roosevelt 90% Rosies, they look a lot like regular clad modern day dimes. The Mercury dimes are way more distinguishable, but they don't carry as much weight because of the wear and tear. So what do y'all like to stack as far as 90%? I know everybody says Mercury dimes. Everybody loves Mercury dimes. I do too. But for the money, it's got to definitely be on Roosevelt dimes. Him and his ugly mug versus the beautiful winged Lady Liberty. That's my little take on it. I think it's important. It would be important to have both in the stack. But to each their own. Stack what you like. If you want tubes of Mercury dimes, so be it. I just think that you're going to get a little more bang for your buck on the Roosevelts. And to me, that's the better deal, right? And it might not sound or seem like it adds up, but over time and over building your 90% stack, you'll be able to notice. Simplified, God bless everybody.